Doing? This is Rich from Rich TV Live, and I want to show you a video from Fabrice Taylor. Take a look.
Appear on television often on BNN, which is our CNBC. Cover business news as a guest. I'm interviewed often by newspapers and magazines as well. I specialize in part in high growth, high risk, high opportunity investments. I have made a few select picks that mostly done very, very well, better than I expected. And my investors, my followers have done well as a result of that. Yeah, Canada Realty was an interesting idea to me. They've changed the name to Origin House, by the way, so if you're looking for the ticker, it's OH. Stock's done well. We started buying it at around $3, went down to about $1.90. We kept buying it. It eventually hit 12. I think it's around 10 today. So I'm still holding on to that one in part. I've taken some profits, but still holding. I like it. I think it's got a bright future. I thought the Kronos management was very, very high quality. My thesis has been proven out, and we've been very richly rewarded on the stock, which is up as much as 15 times. Village Farms was a tomato grower. These guys had experience in growing things in greenhouses in southern British Columbia and elsewhere. And their plan was to convert part of their capacity to marijuana. It's done very well, up tenfold. A lot of investors don't appreciate how important it is to be skilled in agriculture if you're going to make money in this space. I also view my role, and this is equally important, as steering them away from bad investments. And an example of that would be Afria, which a couple of years ago I went on TV and exposed some of their weird shenanigans. They were buying companies, shares in companies, selling them away, and it looked like somebody was benefiting, not necessarily Afria's shareholder. So it's important in my role to not only tell people what to buy, I'm not a promoter, I'm an investor, and also tell them what to stay away from, because this space has its fair share, maybe even more, of people who probably don't deserve your money. So my latest pick is a company called StilCana. It's traded on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the ticker STIL, S-T-I-L. It's probably my biggest single holding right now. The reason I like StilCana is because the whole industry is always pivoting. We started with LPs, and then we went to extraction, and then we went to products. The pivot now is in CBD. CBD is a very hot topic. We saw the US essentially legalize it with the Hemp Farm Bill. And I've been taking CBD for years. My family takes it, and there's no question that it does me some medical good. So I wanted to invest in CBD, but I wanted it in Europe, where it's accepted, where it's well known, and where it's already on the shelves. My due diligence led me to StilCana. I met the CEO, spent a lot of time with him and his advisor. I grew comfortable in their honesty and their skill. I really like the fact that they know how to delegate. The CEO is more of a financial markets guy, but he's surrounded himself with very capable people. The assets that they've acquired and cobbled together in Europe are really quite impressive. I mean, the family in Poland whose business they bought, and the family's still with the company, they've been doing this for decades. They've got extraction facilities in Romania. They've been doing this for a long time. They have huge capacity. And I think that on a relative valuation basis, if you look at Charlotte's Web, which is a CBD company with a $2 billion valuation, StilCana has a $300 million valuation, yet they have more capacity than Charlotte's Web. StilCana's processing facility in Romania, for example, has the capacity to do more extraction in a single day than Charlotte's Web produced all of last year. So at some point, I think people are going to say, hey, I can buy Charlotte's Web or I can buy StilCana. And I think if you want value for money, you're going to buy StilCana, and they're going to buy it after I bought it. This is an expensive business. You need a lot of money to get it off the ground. And StilCana is very well financed. They raised $24 million from Canaccord, which is the #1 investment bank for this industry. And so they've got the money, they've got the management, and they've got the plan. And I think that the reward that you're going to get here if you pull it off will be well worth the risk to take.
So that is StilCana. I'm going to go the other way. There we go. So we are in the studio here today. We're in the office, and I wanted to speak to you guys about STillCana. Now, STillCana has just recently started getting trading. I mean, this is a company that's relatively new, and you could see there Fabrice Taylor talking about STillCana. And one of the things that really caught my attention is that STillCana is his #1 holding. And considering it's pretty much a new company, a new CBD company, I think that that is very interesting for investors that want to get into StilCana. Now, one of the things that makes StilCana unique is that they're in the CBD space, oil extraction for the European market with its Romanian extraction plant, which is already cash flow positive and profitable. The company announced it has a joint venture partner and anchor customer, Dragonfly Biosciences of the UK, the largest retailer of CBD in Europe, and was increasing its minimum monthly order of CBD from 50 kilos to 170 kilos, an increase of 300%. So Fabrice Taylor is a very well-known high net worth investor that's been in the cannabis sector now for quite some time and done very well. He's had a lot of successful picks, which lined over there in the video. He's been involved in Kronos Group and Village Farms, FSD Pharma, and a lot of his investors and his network have done very well. Now, his next pick that he's really positioning himself is StilCana. And this is why I believe that StilCana could be one of the most interesting picks in the cannabis sector, because CBDs are hot, and especially CBDs in Europe, and StilCana is focused on the CBD sector in Europe. So the company isn't really a weed stock per se. It'll soon be one of the largest processors of CBDs in Europe, and the product is derived from hemp. Europeans are very big on CBD products, which have many purported health benefits and a small but growing body of science behind the claims. Now, Fabrice actually has taken some of the products. I've personally taken some of the products, and I feel like the products have had really good effects. They are really good for people that need help with sleep. They're good for people that have issues with anxiety. They're good for people that need help in a lot of different areas. We can go through it. Better sleep, better concentration, especially much less pain or discomfort from inflammation. CBDs are known to really help people with inflammation. And, you know, they're also really good for people that are in sports. So, for example, if you play hockey, it can be pretty painful when you're getting, hit. So by taking CBDs, it can really help you. And Fabrice talks about that a little bit as well. This is actually something directly from Fabrice Taylor. In the aggregate, the losses in the cannabis industry are staggering. StilCana will be profitable this year, according to their forecasts. That's very unusual. This cannabis sector is an interesting sector. Like, there's a lot of companies that are in the sector, but very few of them are actually turning a profit. In fact, most of them are turning big losses year after year, month after month. And I heard a statistic today that said that 80% of all small microcap cannabis companies will not exist in 18 months. They will literally go bankrupt. So what does that mean? That means that the 20% will be the bigger, the stronger, more well-capitalized companies that are generating revenue. StilCana is most likely going to be generating revenue by the end of this year based on their forecast. That makes them unusual, which is why Fabrice Taylor believes that they have a lot of upside. StilCana is trading at about 1x revenue. So how often do you hear that in the cannabis sector? Typically in the cannabis sector, you're going to hear that companies are trading at 40x revenue, 20 to 40x revenue. We've seen some companies trade as much as 175x revenue. Here with StilCana, we're talking about a company that is trading 1x revenue. So if you look at relative valuations, you can easily argue for a $3 to $5 stock price. This assumes valuations hold, but based on Fabrice Taylor, he believes that they are resilient in this industry. So he believes that StilCana will be resilient in this industry because CBDs are such a hot industry, and he believes that there's going to be a lot of upside. Now, another reason that Fabrice is very excited right now about StilCana is that they are focused in Europe. So If their plan plays out, they have a supply agreement with one of the biggest branded CBD companies in Europe, and it recently tripled its order volume. So that tells Fabrice Taylor that CBD is catching on in Europe. They also have their own brands or agreements to acquire them at any rate. And of course, hemp cultivation and processing when all is said and done. How big is the cannabis market? Well, in Europe, they're projecting $66.8 billion by 2020 in Europe alone. That's pretty huge. Now, what is the difference between hemp and marijuana? They're definitely related, but hemp has little to no THC, the compound that makes people high. Otherwise, it is rich in other cannabinoids, including CBD. Because it has no THC, the restrictions on growing hemp are much more relaxed. It's grown outdoors, and it's obvious to say that growing outside rather than in greenhouses or hydroponically indoors is way cheaper. You know, a lot of people say, but don't you want to get high? Like some people want to get high, okay? But actually, no. Some people do, that's true, but the vast majority of people want to get well. So this is what we really want to focus on with CBDs. Yeah, there are some people that want to get high and they want those effects of cannabis, but there's also people that just want to get healthy. There's people that want to be able to sleep. There's people that want to reduce their inflammation. There's people that want to reduce their pain. CBDs could be the solution for that. And StilCanna could be one of the up and coming companies that you want to maybe look at that have a future in this sector. If you survey the landscape, you'll see that the weed industry is pivoting aggressively towards CBD products. And it becomes obvious that the massive wellness industry is open to cannabinoid products. And they fetch a good price in Europe, as much as 10 euros a gram. So imagine you're paying 10 euros a gram for cannabis in Europe. So this company is in the sweet spot. It just finished its reverse takeover RTO of EVI Global Developments Group. So EVI initially was StilCanna. They did an RTO to take over EVI Global Developments Group and change its symbol so it might still be a little hard to find. So this is the issue with StilCanna. It's still brand new. Very few people know about this company. Very few people have heard about this, but that also provides potential opportunity for investors that want to get in early. You know, right now, if you look at Canopy Growth, you're talking about a company that everybody knows about. You're not going to be getting in early if you're trying to get into Canopy Growth. You're getting in when already so many people have been profiting from Canopy Growth for 2 years. So when you're talking about StilCanna, you're talking about a company that's relatively new, that very few people have heard of, and very few people really know anything about. So based on that, we believe that the upside, you know, if we can maybe go through some of this. Let's go into what is CBD. So if we just stop right there. So CBD oil is one of the most researched molecules right now. Cannabinoidal CBD is a hemp compound with significant health benefits. Proven benefits include epilepsy, cancer, multiple sclerosis, arthritis, and chronic pain. These are just some of the factors and some of the different benefits of CBDs. Ongoing research, Parkinson's, inflammation, acne. I'm only going to mention a few. Heart disease, substance abuse, diabetes, depression, anxiety, nausea, ADHD. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable when you think of all the different things that CBDs can do to help the people. And when we think about investments, we have to really consider a company like StilCanna that is going to be revenue generating, is trading one-time revenue, and realistically, nobody really knows. As an investor, is that not what we are looking for? Is that not what we are searching for? Companies that are underappreciated, underexposed, and undervalued? I'd love to know your guys' opinion on StilCanna. I'd love to know if you guys feel that this is a company that has a future. I'd love to know if you guys are interested in this company. If you guys like this video, please smash the like button, comment down below, share this video. If you have an opinion or you have a question, please let me know. I'd love to know your opinions. I'd love to know your questions about StilCanna. okay? We go into their extraction process. Cutting edge extraction process and the extraction system. StilCana has developed a turnkey extraction and distillation solution to convert hemp less than 0.3% THC present or cannabis feedstocks into distilled cannabinoid oil. Scroll down a little bit here, CBD extraction. So it breaks down the farming, extraction and refining, distribution and retail, and then it scrolls down and you can get into the history of CBD extraction. So we are literally just in the forefront of this industry. We're in the forefront of this game, and it is literally just getting started. The upside is so big. Let's see here. I'm gonna open up the screen here and try to see if you guys have any questions for me. How you guys doing today? Thank you guys for joining. Who do we got here? Elad David, how you doing, Elad? Patrick, how you doing, Patrick? Justin, how you doing, Justin? Crypto Man, how you doing today, Crypto Man? Nick Ferris, how you doing, Nick? David, how you doing today, David? RD is asking a question, are all real CBDs the same, or are the ones that are better for different conditions? Well, there's a lot of different CBDs. They are not all the same. Every CBD is different. Every company's product is different. This is why it's important to be able to invest in companies that have lab tested products, that are licensed, that are approved by Health Canada or approved in the country that they are distributing and selling products in. StilCanna is a company that is obviously doing things the right way. This is why we're bringing them to you guys. We want you guys to be aware of them because we believe that they're a company that has a lot of upside. We think that the potential is enormous. And we also think it's relatively cheap. I mean, what is it trading at right now? Under $1, like 94 cents. It's up 4% today. So yeah, it's up a little bit today, but to be honest with you, it's trading at one-time revenue. So we still believe that the upside on StilCanna is pretty big. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not telling you to go and buy it. You want to buy the bottom, right? You clearly want to buy the bottom. You want to buy as low as humanly possible. And that goes with all stocks. But I just believe that it's at 75 cents in America. So, it's at 75 cents in America, and it's really just getting started. Internet Thug TV says, buy bills. Yeah, Dan Balzerian stock. It looks very interesting. How you doing, Internet Thug? Patrick, how you doing, Patrick? Mario, my question is, when is the time to get in this, now or after October? Honestly, I think that the entire sector is down right now. I feel like we are in a down market. We're in a bear market in the cannabis sector. We had a very huge explosive January, and we still maintained some of that momentum for a few months in 2019. We have now been going into a bear market for the last few months. I believe that this will continue for the next month. So if you have the ability to pick it up a little bit lower, absolutely. But the key here with these companies is to put them on your watch list, put them on your radar, and try to buy them as low as humanly possible. Okay, try to pick it up, at a 52-week low if you can. Try to pick it up as low as possible, and then think like a long-term investor and wait for these companies to start showing some growth. If you're looking for long-term investments, you want companies that are going to show profit quarter after quarter. You want companies that are going to be reducing debt, and you want companies that are in hot sectors. CBD is one of the hottest sectors in the world, and it is literally just getting started. It's not legal in Canada yet. Hemp has just now become legal in America, but it's still kind of a gray area, and it is starting to become more recognized in Europe. I believe it's legal in Europe. It's fully legal in Europe right now, so that is where the opportunity is, and that is where StilCanna is really focused. And that's why we believe there is a lot of upside for StilCanna, because they are focused on the European market, which we feel right now is the biggest and the best market for CBDs. And because StilCanna is focused on the European market, we believe they may be one of the best opportunities in the sector because they are focused in the European market. Yeah, let's get into the share structure. So the other reason why I think that this company looks pretty interesting, and Fabrice Taylor, who is well recognized in investing, period, has said that this is one of his largest holdings, okay? So let's look at the share structure. 57 million shares. So 57 million shares. It's pretty good. So it's very tightly held, first and foremost. Fully diluted share structure, 57,943,000. Stock options, 2,165,000 stock options. The share purchase warrants have an average strike price of 36 cents at 13,086,200 warrants with a full value of 4.62 million. So they just raised some money at 115 per share. They raised $17.4 million at 115 per share. And they're using shares to acquire Olimax. 24 million shares are being used to acquire Olimax. You guys see this? I don't know if you can zoom in. Can you zoom into this? So they will have 99 million shares once this is all completed. Because there's 73 million shares once you take into account the warrants. And then when you take into account the capital raise, they raised $17,400,000 at $1.15. When you add those shares to the total, and then they use 24 million shares to acquire Olimax. So when you add all the shares and you combine them all together, we're just under 100 million shares. We're at 99 million shares. 99,343,000 shares. So just under 100 million, which I really like that number. If you've been watching Rich TV Live, you know that I like that 50 to 100 million shares fully diluted number. If you get underneath 100 million shares, you're usually doing pretty good, okay? So you're not going to see a ton of dilution. You're not going to see a ton of heavy aggressive selling in the security based on its share structure. So that won't be a huge overhang. We see some companies like Aurora Cannabis, they have 1 billion shares, and everybody asks, well, why is Aurora Cannabis, if they're such a great company, not going higher? And the real reason is because of their share structure. This is a share structure that I feel is well thought out. It's very, you can see that based on all of their transactions, everything is very structured and everything is very strategic. StilCana right now is trading at 98 cents in Canada, traded 123,000 shares. So the liquidity is still very low. I don't think too many people know about it. I don't think too many people really have even heard of StilCana. So I think that this is still early stages for StilCana. There could be a little bit of downside pressure and maybe an opportunity for us to get it a little bit lower. So try to get it as low as humanly possible. The whole key of this video and the whole key and the reason why I talk about these stocks is I want to be able to bring them to your attention so that you guys can go and do some due diligence. I can also do my due diligence. And collectively as a community, as a unit, we can watch StilCana. And if we see it falls and gets really, really low, that might be the time for us to buy. Now, in addition to that, if they have any big news, if they have any big acquisitions, or if the entire sector just takes off and CBD stocks go hot, we could see StilCana really have some huge price appreciation. So let's keep it on our watch list, keep it on our radar. I think it's a company to watch. I like it. I like the CBD space. And Fabrice Taylor, who's really highly acclaimed as an investor in Canada, been on BNN Bloomberg, been on a lot of different major publications, newsletters, and television productions for his investing, has said that it's one of his largest holdings. So based on his track record, he's had an unbelievable track record. He's done very well on Village Farms and Kronos Group, just to mention two companies that he's invested in and told his investors to get into early before they exploded. And StilCana is the next investment idea that he's positioned himself, and he's telling a lot of his members and his investors that he believes that they've got a lot of upside. So, you know, based on his history, I think that it's one to watch. I'll be watching it very closely. I hope you guys watch it closely as well. If you guys have any questions or if you guys have any comments, please feel free to give us your questions, give us your comments, let us know what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you guys, the community. Thank you guys for watching today. Hope you guys have a great trading day. This is Rich from Rich TV Live. And that's Fabrice Taylor. Once again, yeah, it was at 155 a share in April, and it's come down. So like I said, everything has come down a lot over the last little while. This could be the best time over the next month or two to really position yourself in great companies, because we're in a bear market, and the cannabis index is actually, are you able to pull up marijuana index on here? marijuanaindex.com. I want to show you guys how the cannabis sector has actually come down quite a bit. You know, you don't want to catch a falling knife. So if something's coming down, you don't want to chase it on the way down. But what I suggest you do, everything has been coming down in the entire sector. I'm going to show you guys. Oh, it doesn't want to pull up, eh? Sometimes they have issues. Okay, well, don't worry about it right now. Yeah, don't worry about it now. So what I would suggest you do is, the cannabis sector at the high was trading over 1,000 in Canada, the cannabis index, okay? Now, oh, you know what? I can give you one. Go to marijuanaindex.io. Marijuana index. Sorry, one more A after the marijuana. Index.io. Oh, it's not. Oh, sorry, cannabis index. Cannabis index. Cannabis index.io. No, a website I saw yesterday. What was it? Cannabis market. Cannabismarketcap.io. Take a look at this website, guys. Take a look at this website. Here we go. So this is like market cap for crypto, but this is for cannabis stocks. So I just found this website yesterday. So take a look at this. So now what I want you to do is scroll up for a second. No, the other way. Other way. And go to rankings. Don't go to rankings there. It's not going to show the index. Go to gainers and losers. Wow, look at INSY. So you guys can see that some of the stocks that are going up today, and I always like to look at the gainers and I always like to look at the losers and just try to kind of keep up to date on everything that's happening. This is a new website that I just found called cannabismarketcap.io. It ranks all the gainers, it ranks the losers. In the cannabis sector in Canada, the high for the cannabis sector, like the high was 1,100. Right now, it's trading at 500. The low over the last 2 years was 400. So we're definitely trading around the bottom, okay? The upside from here, I see it being enormous. So I believe that we are going to see a huge resurrection. It will be coming, I would say, over the next month or two. So as an investor, you want to really position yourself as low as humanly possible. This may be, over the next month, the best time to position yourself in all of the top stocks. Now, if you go back, can you go back to just the rankings again? Just go to home. Click on home right there. Yeah, perfect. Now you can see, and I've said this to you guys, the #1 company in the entire sector is Aurora Cannabis, and they are by double Aurora Cannabis. Is Canopy Growth Corp. They have a market cap which is double Aurora Cannabis, literally double. So when you're talking about the largest cannabis company in the world, you have to talk about Canopy Growth. They are the best company. They've got the strongest management. They've got the most revenue, and they are generating the most revenue, and they got the most money in the bank. So Canopy Growth is clearly the #1 cannabis company in the entire sector. When Canopy Growth does well, mostly the whole sector does well. When Canopy Growth goes down, mostly the whole sector goes down. So it's very important to kind of look at the entire sector as a whole and ask yourself, is this a bear market or is this a bull market? And the reality is we're in a bear market. So everything's come down. I believe it will continue. So be patient and try to pick your spots. But I see that there's going to be a huge resurrection, especially with edibles legalizing in Canada and marijuana legalizing in the United States and all over the world. I believe that there will be a resurrection in the sector. And for those that get in early and get in when everything is down, the upside will be great for those. Because when you look at the entire sector as a whole, you can see that we are not at the very bottom, but we're pretty close to the bottom. We're maybe 10 to 20% away from the all-time bottom over the last 2 years, but we are nowhere near the top. So the upside, I see it being exponential, anywhere from 100 to 150% from today's levels, whereas the downside, based on historical patterns over the last 2 years, I don't see us going down more than 10 to 20% as a sector, but I see the upside being anywhere from 100 to 150% based on historical patterns. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Just wanted to talk to you guys about STILCana today. Keep them on your watch list. Keep them on your radar. Nick says, buy while down and you will catch good sentiments in momentum. Well, I mean, as any investment, you want to buy low, sell high. So you want to buy in the red and sell in the green. And right now, as a whole for the sector, this might be the best time to try to position yourself. But I'm not trying to tell anyone to buy or sell anything. Always do your due diligence. Always do your research before you invest in anything that we talk about here in Rich TV Live. We are not financial advisors. We are not licensed, okay? Do your due diligence, do your research, invest in the best companies, invest in companies that have good management, that are in hot sectors, that have a good share structure, that are generating revenue, have little to no debt, and are moving in the right direction, okay? Thank you guys for watching. This is Rich from Rich TV Live talking about STILCana. I believe that this is a CBD company to watch. Put it on your radar, put it on your watch list. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you soon.